Welcome back to another episode. Today, me and Carson are going to be showing you which ad formats are performing well and what you should be doing for your brand. The reason why you should listen to me and Carson is combined, we manage around $100 million worth of ad spend a year, helping brands scale on Meta. Yeah. Carson, ready for this episode?
Dude, I'm ready. Let's have it today. I just got back from South by Southwest in Austin. I had a great trip. I'm pumped to be back. I'm pumped to be filming this episode with you, dude. It's always a pleasure.
Yep.
And let's dive in because this is a good topic.
Yep.
And I think it'll be beneficial for a lot of people out there, advertisers, organic social, like across the board. This is the formats online you should be looking at in order to grow your brand.
Yep.
And it varies, you can make all of them work, but find which ones you work best with and then double down on those and go into others once you start to master more and more.
Yeah, fully agree. And I think to add on to that as well, we're going to also be we'll be popping on the screen as well, the actual ad, so you can see what it looks like as well. Because I know it's a very visual industry. So yeah, I mean, look, I think just as before we start, just to give people a bit of context, if you're looking at a full funnel, you basically look at your messaging and your angles, the ad format you make, the landing page and the offer, right? So what we're going to be focusing on today is just the ad formats, right? We may give some source on messages and angles and how we find them, but today will all be about the packaging and how do you show the best formats. So Carson, I want to start with offer-led statics. Now, these are very sales focused. There'll be one on the screen right now as a good example. And they're usually built around the offer or the discount. Now, usually you see these types of ads work really well, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right? Where the audience is slightly warmer. These are not good unaware ads. Offer-led statics are very good, in my opinion, for that middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, that warm audience. What do you think, Carson?
Yeah, they're great for that. And also it's like, they're why I like offer-led statics is not obviously to reach new customers. It's to convert people who already know, they're aware of your product, of your solution. They just need to like be pushed over the edge, right? But my favorite reason for these existing is it's a lot easier to tell what top of funnel ads that aren't converting are leading to that bottom of funnel ad converting. Like it's a lot easier to tell when you know what your creative is and you know where it lies on your frequency compared to your top of funnel that might be getting all the spend but not conversions. And this one gets less spend, but more conversions and a lower click-through rate, right? So this is why I like these the best. Like, obviously, they're very broad. They're not creative. They're just to push people over the edge. Should you have a ton of them in your ad account at once? Probably not. I would say, depending on your spend, that should dictate as everything else should. But for the most part, like, a couple of these should suffice you. If you're spending $50K a month, you could probably get away with 5 of these. If you're spending hundreds of thousands a month, you probably want 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting though, that because like, I don't know what you've seen across your accounts, but like what I'm finding quite interesting is how like certain brands, what I've seen is they'll only do the offer-led statics of certain hero SKUs because they know that the cross-category sell will be better.
Yes.
Which has been an interesting test on our end. So there's something to warn people when looking at offer-led statics. If you're selling multiple SKUs, really look at, okay, what is our hero SKU? That can also increase the upsell opportunity as well.
That's a great point. Because most people try to throw all of their products out there in their ads. You need to find one hero product and double down on that. Just be good at one thing, and then you can upsell people on email or on the site, wherever else. But advertising is like, find what wins and scale that. Maybe you'll earn the right to scale other products, but like right now, just focus on one thing.
Yeah. And I think something that I'm noticing quite a lot as well is there's a lot of talk online right now, especially on e-commerce, about different, everyone's wanging on about different angles. I really want to say to people, look at different formats. I think this is why this is such an important episode for people. So that's offer-led statics. Going on to kind of product benefit statics, like essentially to make this really easy for someone to understand, you just want to link the product to the clear customer benefits kind of / outcomes. As Carson says famously, and he famously took from Ogilvy, you advertise to a marching band, you don't advertise to a standing audience. So really understand that these product benefits will shift with the market. And there'll be one on the screen right now, one of my favorite examples.
This is my favorite format. Maybe second favorite. Headline only is probably my favorite because it can do a lot of heavy lifting. But this is like one of our most successful formats across every account because it's if you nail the headline, all you need is 3-4 good reasons why somebody should buy it. and it converts like
Mm.
crazy. It really does. Like, these are the lowest barrier to entry. Just find out what your customer cares about and sell them the benefits. Not just like, one of the things I don't like about some brands is they'll focus way too much on the features. People don't really care about the features of your product. Like, if it has more vitamins than another, and then an orange, like Huel says, that's great, but sell somebody on what that does for them. Like, what's the outcome
Mm.
they get?
Yeah.
More
No, I
energy
agree.
would be a great one. Like, that's what you should be advertising instead, not, more vitamin
Agree.
C.
And to add on to that, Carson, as well, I think I would say to a brand as well, it's really important to understand that when you're one product that you sell will have multiple angles. And I think what's important is that each angle will have a winning format for the angle that you're targeting. And I think a lot of people get frustrated what I've seen where it's like they go, oh, this angle isn't working. It's like, no, 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 it is working, but there's something wrong in the funnel. That could be the format you're showing them, how you're showing the information. So it's why when I say, let's say you're targeting, I don't know, a supplement for sleep. All the product benefits on that static ad should go to the persona of sleep. It should not talk about anything else apart from the sleep benefits. Don't
Yep.
mix match other benefits into one static. Make it very clear what you're selling to.
Yep. Yeah, make it super clear, make it benefit driven. It's very simple.
Concrete as well.
Yeah, very concrete. That's good catch there.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great. Another one that we've got on the list, before and after statics.
Mm,
These I have notoriously not seen convert very well. A lot of the us versus them and before and afters, like, they're great for middle of funnel, but I don't tend to see a lot of conversion on them. They're great to have for their creative diversity, and your brand might be different, but that's something to note. We have had a
mm,
few for clients do really well, but I would say,
mm.
generally speaking, they're not as great as other formats.
Yeah.
They're
Uh,
great in transformation. That's what the best
yeah.
part about it is. Before and after, us versus them. Like, if you're really attacking, like, something that somebody, it has to be high pain point, in my opinion.
Mm,
Like, if it's not high pain point,
yeah.
no one's gonna really convert on it.
Yeah. But I would also add to that as well, Carson. I think also be very like something that I've said to people is like look at your market sophistication in your niche. Like, if it's a niche where you've got to really again everyone talks about this all the time and it's really cliche, but just really go through the customer journey, right? If you're in a product category where it's a very bloody ocean and it's not very blue ocean, there's a lot of competitors. The before and afters are very good, as you said, middle of funnel. But what it does is it can like be a great way to objection handle, right? Not only a competitor but a way of thinking, right? So it could actually be an identity change. Like before I lost 20 kilos, after I lost 20 kilos, right? You can actually use that as an identity frame. I would really recommend people to look at that as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And these are for my attribution people, these are more middle or bottom of the funnel. I don't tend to see these top.
Yeah. But like, I think the biggest mistake a lot of brands make is they look at performance as, oh, this is the lowest cost per action. But in my opinion, it's like, I would rather look at ads that drive higher AOV than
Yeah.
product than ads that drive low CPAs because yeah, cool. Like it could drive, like you and I can go into any ad account and drive CPAs down by 50% if we make the product free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or we just make a ridiculous discount. Like, it doesn't, to me, it's not really the best evidence of success. I think it's all dependent on your model. Review statics. There'll be an example on the screen right now. Look, I like these for many different reasons, and I'll tell you why. One, I think a review static is really good for prototyping a new angle you want to test because you can essentially make a testimonial ad with a particular angle, see if it resonates, and then you can scale that up. But they're
Mhm.
also great as well for like skepticism tackling, bit of objections as well.
Yeah,
What do you think,
especially
Carson?
if you're a product that needs more education and you're a little bit newer even, those are great ways to do it. Review statics are fantastic. Brands that do it well, AG1, Huel, you just have to have a product that, like, if you need more education, reviews are great.
Yeah, yeah. And also as well, I think it's really important for people to understand it's like, there are other niches that do review and testimony ads differently to your niche. Look at those and see how they've done it. Because again,
Yeah.
you've got to be obsessed about the packaging. It's all about the packaging, right? And it's how do you show the information? It's all that is. I mean, look, I've done posts on LinkedIn, right? That I was like, this is really good value. Nothing,
Yep.
nothing, nothing. I do one that's packaged really well. Where it goes viral most times. So it's like it's all in how you package it. So review statics are a very important example of that. Package it in a way that the customer understands and is used to. Carson, there's been a massive trend right now on native style ads and more kind of like organic looking, right? What's your views on what you've seen, like from a cohort perspective and maybe actually kind of, from actually like storytelling perspective as well.
That's honestly a very interesting one because I see these a lot and I see them not only in accounts, but I see them on my feed. They can
Mm,
convert very well. The caveat is I tend to see them convert way more effectively as partnership ads and less as brand account ads. I see them work, we
mm.
make them. They do convert for brand accounts, but I tend to see them convert better for those partnership and white labels.
Yeah. No, it's interesting that. But something that I saw recently actually was partnership ads. Because in my mind, the bias that I've always had is that a partnership ad is usually a video. Actually, I've seen some partnership static ads, which has been a really interesting rabbit hole to go down. And for people that are new to partnership ads, the reason why they've become very popular, kind of post the Andromeda update, is because it's basically it's the easiest way to do incremental net. It's the best way to do incrementality because you can essentially target new audiences because the creator ID is mapped to a particular group. For people that don't know, that's why they become quite popular. UGC selfie videos, the yapping videos, God, the yappers. The yappers are everywhere. Watch out. It's pretty remarkable. Um, how well they're doing the app style format. What would you say, Carson, you've seen? I call them UGC selfie style videos, but now they're called yappers. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I don't know how people are just now realizing like, "Oh, yappers are having a moment." Dude, if you get somebody good on camera and let them go, this isn't a new thing. People are acting like this is the first discovery of gold. Not a new
Yeah,
thing at
literally.
all. These do
Yeah,
well.
literally.
It's typical, it's classic. All that matters is you just hook somebody in and let them talk about the right stuff. You just have to have the right
Yeah.
person do it and the right brief. Simple scales, complex fails. Like don't overcomplicate it. Just let people run with it.
Whoa. Where did that come from? That was gorgeous.
Oh, that's I've heard that one before. I don't own that one, unfortunately.
Holy shit, that was flipping heck. Okay, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, just to quickly add to that, what Carson was saying, just like do loose briefs, don't do a tight brief. The whole point of a yapping video is it is somewhat raw and kind of organic feel. And the quickest hack that I found is when you're looking at hooks, write down those obvious hook ever, such as if you want to grow your business, do paid ads, right? Everyone knows that. The market knows that's a statement. So if I was you, you want to change the hook for the yapping video where it'd be like, I don't know, like everyone knows paid ads work until they find out about X or find out about Y. You want to basically make it seem contrarian, the view. That's what works really well on social media. I like demo videos. Now, look, basically, this is an ad showing the product in use. So this could be like a skincare brand, like doing their makeup routines, like all these types of things. Are you a fan of the product demo videos? Do you think they're like, I mean, it's educational. It's not entertainment. It's more of an educational angle, more top of funnel. So brands are kind of wary to play it, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. I don't love them as a format, but if you need a product or if you have a product that needs high education, they can be great.
Hmm.
Do I think you should not run them? No, I think you should run everything, and try everything. So, for the most part, I'd say though, like brands don't need to focus on them unless they require high education. Like
Yeah, I agree
clothing
with that.
brands, you
I,
can stay away from that. Don't need it.
I agree with that. Yeah. But people know how to put a pair of pants. I mean, you don't have to educate them on that one, but
Yeah,
maybe you can
I
educate
don't
them
have a ton
around
on
the
that one.
styling on product demo videos.
Yeah.
But like, all I would say is like, for example, you can actually you could run an ad that maybe's got like a soft CTA where it's like, download this free styling guide. So like,
Yeah.
not all conversions have to lead to like a product purchase, man. So I always like to say to people like, again, map the funnel, understand the conversion event, and then work backwards. Like if you're
Yep.
selling, if you want to try and target a net new audience, maybe you do the free PDF play, right? I think a
Yeah.
lot of people get that wrong. Founder story ads in the most simplest and 5-year-old explanation is when the founder explains why they created the product and the problem. I mean, I've got my
These
views on it.
rip.
I kind of want to hear yours first, Carl.
These rip.
Yeah.
These rip. They do really well. People love the why. They love just it evokes the pain point more and they can tell that it's authentic for the most part or not. These do really well. I don't have much on these just because they're so simple and straightforward. It's like get your founder in front of the camera, let him talk, cut it up, edit it well, you'll be good to go.
Yeah. And I think to add to that as well, I think if you are found and you're listening, it's like you've got an energy that your employees don't. You've got a passion that they won't because it's your company. It's your
Yeah.
kind of livelihood on the line. So use that. use that energy, use that vibe. I love these ads, skit ads. There'll be a
Same.
video showing right now.
They're my favorite.
I think, well, you're hot to believe, and I think you're so right. It's skits ad plus out of home activation. I think will be a really big play in 2026. I think brands need to lean into humor with the out of home activation with it to supplement it. Uh, I think it'd be a huge play. You know,
And skits are great because you can make everything you can base things off of relatability. You can create moments that your customers struggle with and reach them in a way that they're going to understand while also entertaining them. So I love skit style and I think it's honestly the future for so many reasons, but the biggest one is just relatability and connection. Like people are going to see the skit you have and be like, "Oh my god, I experienced that," or "That's funny, like I struggle with that," whatever. And that is what's going
yeah,
to make them feel understood and connected with you and your brand. That's
yeah.
why I love
Fully,
skits.
fully agree. Fully agree, man. And I think actually what companies need to do when looking at skit ads, they're saying, Luke, how do we come up with them? Go to Reddit, go to the communities they live in, scrape it, understand the culture. Also, let's be brutally honest, if you're in the niche, you should know the skit. You should know the culture. An example I can give you that me and Carson would say would be like, as a creative strategist or working with brands, the joke is that we have so many tabs open, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if that's similar for you, Carson, but like I'm a tab
Yeah.
fiend. I have so many
Yep.
like, tabs open, right? So like that would be a cultural insight. You'll have them in your own niche, find them. Like Wolf of Wall Street, for example, in finance. People have seen that, they know that culturally. Podcast ads. Now, you have to understand when you're making a format, what is the end goal, right? If you're doing a podcast ad, you're looking to basically add kind of domain authority. And that basically means for someone listening, what is my expertise in the area? What do I have? What can I talk to people about that is value based? There have been some podcast ad formats that are kind of funny, but usually the best ones are an educational angle, or with an affiliate, like a celebrity that works with your brand as well. Do you agree,
Yes.
Carson?
Yeah, totally agree. These work really well if you also edit them up and give people a visual. I don't think I've seen any of these do well just where it's like two people chatting. 'Cause I think the visual
Yeah.
helps people a little bit more with podcasts. But yeah, these can be very good. I've seen them do really well, I've seen them do really poorly, but if they're executed right for the most part, like, you should be good. Like, I like these ads, and
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a market, now people are renting out studios just to film these ads instead of just, like, having
Yeah.
podcasts and all this stuff, or they're hiring agencies to do it. There's agencies that specialize in only this. So I think that's a great one. Another one I think we should bring up before we get to the VSL stuff is street interviews. I think
Oh,
these
yeah.
are
Huge.
these are ripping right now. The only problem with podcast and street interviews is I don't know at what point people are just gonna be so overwhelmed with them that they're gonna kind of hit their max ceiling, or if it'll happen, like, I don't know. But they're very real,
Yeah.
raw, and authentic. The only thing you'll have to deal with sometimes is people will think that, like, they'll have the skepticism, like, "Is are these people paid or not?" They'll never really know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but overall, they do well if you can nail the hook. That's the biggest thing for those
Yeah.
is can you nail the hook or do something visually, find somebody who's a little bit, maybe wacky on the street or something and interview them. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. You want to look for the wacky people, the ones that pop out on camera. And yeah, and I think also as well, just to add on to that, I think what the best teams will do this year, in my view, and formats, they'll have the streaming angles. They'll do the clippers in the background. They'll just like I think it's really important to have like what is your hero format, and then what
Mhm.
can supplement the hero format. I think it's a really good way of we need. I guarantee every brand has a format that will unlock them exceptional growth, and it's just finding the format. And the only way to find that format is just iterate, 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 iterate. It's the
Yep.
only way.
That's it.
It's the game.
By the way, I have a buddy that
And then look,
does street interview ads we should bring on.
do you know someone that does interview ads only?
Yeah, so we'll bring him on for either next week's or the week after. I'll get him on. Anyway, back
Oh
to
yeah, let's get them on.
VSL. Let's
Yeah.
let's hit the VSL stuff.
Yeah, so look, essentially, I look at VSL as quite differently to people, but like how I've defined a VSL is like a really beautifully made, not beautiful, but like a well-made video that has a mixture of like, green screen, image overlay, all these things that tells a story with like a sail through line. There's a brand that I think does really well called Sun Powder, and they do that really, really well. They've got some really banging VSLs. So yeah, that's a really good one to look for inspiration. I
I
actually pop
think
on there.
these are fantastic, and I think there's one caveat to the ones I've seen do really well and the ones I've seen do a little bit poor for this particular format. I tend to see the ones that are longer do well, and I'm talking, like, over a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Those
see
are the
that.
ones I tend to see
I see
do
that.
a lot better for this format.
I see that. But do you? But interestingly, very quickly, like, do you see like? Because I know right now Meta are getting quite annoyed at App11 because App11's eating all their lunch money. Because it's you have to watch the video for that duration of time. Does that change how people should approach the VSL when it's like the audience have to watch your video for a minute? There's no like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I think when you make the VSLs longer, like if you can just keep people's attention and give them more information, it's kind of like the Yapper videos.
True, true. But I think it's important to definitely optimize for the first 3 seconds. I think that's
Yeah,
really critical. Yeah, I agree with that.
100%.
I agree. I mean, look, I think with this episode is going to be quite fast. I did that on purpose. We just want to rip through the formats. They are
Yeah.
like the 10, 11 formats that me and Carson have seen work well across different accounts. There'll be other formats in there as well that we working equally as well, but these are the ones that me and Carson could agree on. Kidding. we we agreed on them well. I think next week we should get a guest on, hopefully. And yeah, like we're just gonna keep ripping these formats.
I
People
love
are
it.
gonna love them. We're gonna keep pushing it, and yeah, I mean that's kind of it for me, really. Anything you want to add, Carson?
No, dude, that's it. I'm pumped for next week. We'll hopefully get Jordan on and talk about street interview ads and stuff like that. But this has been a short and quick episode, but I think a very valuable one in terms of what people should be looking at.
Agreed. Well, look, it's peace from me and it's peace from Carson.
See you guys.
See you in a bit.
Money.